Sierra came out and said that your wife was sleeping with her brother-in-law. She said,
Puerto Rico, a place usually filled with sun, music, and laughter, suddenly became the epicenter of one of the most shocking rumors of LHHATL Season 13. Whispers have been circulating that Z's brother may have been involved with Salma, and fans are already reacting with disbelief. According to sources close to the group, messages, secret meetings, and mysterious interactions have sparked speculation that has everyone questioning loyalties and intentions. Imagine a serene sunset over the ocean, cocktails in hand, and then suddenly the calm is shattered by allegations that leave the entire group scrambling. Emotions ran high, voices cracked with tension. The family was left divided, trying to make sense of what they had just heard. People who were once close found themselves questioning everything, unsure of whom to trust.
What's real and what's rumor? This moment isn't just gossip. It threatens relationships, anniversaries, and trust among friends.
Revelations could emerge as everyone struggles to navigate the complex web of rumor, perception, and emotion. Could this be the scandal that changes relationships forever, or is it merely another exaggerated tale fueled by whispers and speculation? One thing is certain: fans cannot look away. And the intrigue surrounding Z's brother and Salma is only growing with each passing moment. The Puerto Rico sun was dipping behind the horizon, casting a soft glow over the resort, but the atmosphere was far from calm. Whispers had started circulating among the group, faint at first, but carrying a weight that was impossible to ignore. According to sources, Mama D had apparently caught wind of something that involved Z's brother and Salmond. The rumors spread like wildfire. Eyes darted across the poolside, glances exchanged with subtle suspicion, and
that out on Front Street like that, I wanted to tell my boy in a respectful way what was going on with his love life. But Mama D, she just don't give a right now. That wasn't the
speculating about the unfolding scandal. Emotions ran high, voices shook with disbelief, and the family was left divided, trying to understand the layers of what was being whispered behind closed doors. Sierra, who had initially stayed on the sidelines, finally spoke up, her voice slightly trembling. "I heard something about Z's brother and Salma," she admitted, her gaze flicking nervously from one person to another. The room seemed too still for a moment, the words hanging in the humid air like a storm waiting to break. Murmurs erupted immediately, some friends gasping in shock, others exchanging skeptical looks. Could it be true, or was it just a rumor exaggerated by the tension of the evening? The uncertainty made every glance, every sigh, every small movement loaded with meaning. Cameras caught the moment, capturing the disbelief and surprise that rippled through the group, ensuring that nothing would be forgotten. Fans online were already reacting, their comments a mix of shock, curiosity, and intense speculation, adding fuel to an already combustible atmosphere. Zae, noticing the sudden shift, approached Sierra, his brows furrowed in confusion and frustration. "Wait, what exactly are you saying?" he asked, voice low but tense. His friends hovered nearby, some trying to calm him, others simply watching to see how the confrontation would unfold. The mention of messages and alleged receipts had everyone on edge, creating a sense that the rumor might hold more weight than anyone wanted to admit. The tension was almost cinematic, every movement, every pause, every whispered phrase magnified by the presence of cameras and the silent judgment of onlookers. Mama D, known for her boldness and fearless honesty, didn't hesitate. She stepped forward, her expression serious. "I'm just saying what I heard. If it's true, people need to know," she declared. Murmurs of shock rippled through the crowd. Some defended her courage, while others accused her of overstepping. The line between truth and speculation blurred rapidly, leaving everyone unsure of how to respond. Friends who were close to Zay tried to intervene, whispering reassurances. But even their calm voices seemed drowned out by the growing tension. The alleged connection between Z's brother and Salma had become the focus of every interaction, the centerpiece of what was rapidly turning into an emotional spectacle. ZAE single quotes us husband. Struggling to maintain composure, pulled a few friends aside. I love my wife and I respect her. Why are these stories being thrown around? He asked, his tone a mixture of frustration and disbelief. Friends exchanged glances, unsure what to say, knowing that every word could escalate or soothe the situation. Alliances formed subtly in the background, with some friends defending Mama D's revelation, while others stood firmly by Zay and his family. Each gesture, each sigh, each subtle movement became loaded with potential meaning. Fans watching online dissected every moment, their reactions pouring into the digital world as speculation and debate amplified the tension. The night continued, but laughter and music were replaced by anxious whispers and tense glances. Casual conversations were interrupted as the subject of the alleged affair resurfaced repeatedly. No one wanted to be caught off guard by the next revelation, and the sense of unease permeated every corner of the resort. Cameras rolled constantly, capturing expressions, body language, and every tense interaction. The alleged scandal had taken on a life of its own, creating a web of intrigue, suspicion, and drama that seemed impossible to untangle. Friends who had previously been neutral found themselves swept into the storm, forced to choose sides or remain silent in the face of mounting gossip. ZAE, determined to get to the heart of the matter, pulled Salma aside for a private conversation. I need you to tell me what's going on, he said, voice low, eyes searching for answers. Salma hesitated, glancing around at the group and the cameras. I don't know what to say, she murmured. Her uncertainty only heightened the tension. The surrounding friends watched closely, every subtle reaction fueling further speculation. The alleged affair, whether real or merely imagined, had transformed the evening into a high-stakes emotional minefield. Every word spoken carried weight, every glance was scrutinized, and every pause seemed pregnant with hidden meaning. Friends who were not directly involved found themselves observing in awe and anxiety. One whispered to another, "If this gets out, it could ruin everything." Another nodded, voice low, "People's reputations are on the line." The night had turned into a delicate balancing act, with trust, suspicion, and loyalty constantly shifting. Casual attempts at humor or conversation often backfired, misinterpreted as confirmation or dismissal of the alleged affair. The tension was palpable, wrapping the group in a cloud of uncertainty that left no one untouched. Throughout the evening, Mama D remained resolute. She did not apologize for sharing what she had learned, insisting that transparency was necessary even if it caused discomfort. "People deserve to know," she said firmly, drawing both support and criticism. The emotional stakes were high, and every interaction, no matter how brief, seemed to carry the potential for conflict. Friends whispered, glances were exchanged, and alliances subtly shifted as the rumor continued to dominate every conversation. The resort, usually a backdrop for relaxation and fun, had become the stage for a dramatic spectacle that captivated everyone present. As the night deepened, arguments began to flare. Voices rose, accusations bounced back and forth, and the air grew heavy with tension. One friend accused another of spreading the rumor, while yet another defended Mama D for her honesty. Each rebuttal seemed to spark new questions, new doubts, and new whispers. The alleged affair was no longer just a rumor. It had become a force driving every interaction, dictating behavior, and shaping the emotional landscape of the evening. Even those who tried to remain neutral found themselves drawn into the vortex of speculation and drama. Salma, increasingly aware of her role at the center of attention, chose to remain quiet. Her silence both a shield and a source of further speculation. Some interpreted it as guilt, others as strength, and yet others as uncertainty. Every glance exchanged with Zay carried layers of unspoken communication, magnified by the presence of friends and cameras capturing each subtle shift. The drama was multi-layered, complex, and emotionally charged, leaving the group teetering between confrontation and reluctant conversation. Fans online dissected every moment, amplifying the intensity of what was happening in real time. Friends tried to steer conversations away from the scandal, suggesting other topics or joking lightly to diffuse tension. But the momentum of the alleged affair was unstoppable. Every word, every sigh, and every reaction seemed to fuel the narrative further. The emotional roller coaster had become inescapable, and the stakes felt higher with each passing moment. The alleged scandal between Z's brother and Salma had dominated the evening, creating a tension-filled backdrop for what should have been a carefree vacation. It seemed that nothing could escape the shadow of the rumors, and every interaction was As the evening wore on, the conversations became more intense. Whispers of past interactions, misunderstood messages, and potential cover-ups circulated among the friends, each revelation adding a new layer of complexity. The drama, whether based on fact or speculation, had taken center stage, dictating behavior, shaping alliances, and captivating both those present and fans watching online. The emotional stakes were at their peak, and every glance, every pause, every subtle gesture carried meaning. The night had become a study in human behavior, fueled by rumors, suspicion, and high-stakes emotion. The morning after the tense evening in Puerto Rico arrived with no relief for the group. Instead of calm, there was a lingering heaviness, an unspoken tension that seemed to follow everyone like a shadow. Whispers and side conversations were already circulating around the resort. Friends tried to piece together what was real and what might simply be exaggeration. The alleged affair between Z's brother and Salma had taken root as the central focus, overshadowing even the casual moments of the vacation. Fans online were reacting frantically to snippets and clips shared on social media, fueling speculation and debate. Each shared comment, each viral clip, only amplified the intrigue and pressure on those involved. ZAE, determined to understand the situation, approached Salma privately. His tone was controlled, yet firm. "I need to hear it from you," he said quietly, searching her eyes for any hint of honesty. Salma hesitated, her fingers nervously playing with her bracelet. I don't know what to say," she admitted, her voice soft, layered with uncertainty. The tension between them was almost palpable. Each pause weighted with potential consequences. The surrounding friends, sensing the gravity of the moment, kept their distance but were not subtle about their observations, exchanging worried glances and whispered comments. Fans online dissected every second, trying to infer meaning from body language alone. Mama D, unapologetic as ever, remained a focal point. She had brought the rumor into the open, insisting that transparency was necessary. And now, the ripple effects of her revelation were impossible to ignore. "People deserve to know," she said, her voice steady but commanding attention. Some friends nodded in agreement, defending her courage, while others shook their heads, criticizing her for exposing private matters in such a public way. The energy among the group was volatile, a mixture of fear, disbelief, and anticipation. Every glance and movement seemed scrutinized, interpreted as proof or denial of the alleged scandal. Friends formed small clusters, debating, speculating, and sometimes arguing. One whispered to another, "I can't believe this is happening right now." Another countered, "Whether it's true or not, we need to be careful what we say." Alliances shifted subtly, with some defending Salma and Zay, while others sided with Mama D's revelation. Conversations were charged, and the mere act of observing someone's reaction became a source of anxiety. Rumors, real or imagined, had created an invisible web that touched everyone, making casual interactions tense and every comment potentially explosive. Z's husband, struggling to remain composed, pulled a few close friends aside. "I can't let this rumor define what we have," he said, frustration barely restrained. "We need clarity, but we also need to protect our family." Friends nodded, offering quiet support, yet the stress of the situation hung heavily in the air. Each explanation seemed to lead to more questions, and the line between fact and speculation blurred rapidly. The emotional stakes were enormous, and the group was caught between wanting to uncover the truth and trying to maintain some semblance of calm. Social media buzzed incessantly. Clips from the prior evening were shared and reshared, often accompanied by speculative captions and dramatic commentary. Fans debated fiercely, some defending Zay and Salma, others analyzing every gesture of Mama D and the rest of the group. Hashtags trended, and the digital conversation added a global dimension to the drama. Every glance, every whisper, every tense moment from the resort became fodder for speculation, magnifying the emotional intensity for those involved. The digital audience, in many ways, had become a silent but powerful participant in the unfolding spectacle. As the day wore on, tensions only seemed to increase. Casual moments were fraught with anxiety. Laughter and jokes were replaced with cautious glances and guarded speech. A simple gesture could be misinterpreted. A whispered conversation could trigger new rumors, and every interaction felt like navigating a minefield. Friends who attempted to mediate often found their words twisted or questioned, making reconciliation seem almost impossible. The alleged affair was no longer just a rumor, was a dominant force shaping behavior, perception, and interactions. Sierra, caught in the center of the storm, struggled to manage the pressure. "I only shared what I heard," she repeated, attempting to clarify. Yet even this statement was met with suspicion. Her every word weighed and analyzed. Body language became a form of dialogue. Subtle shifts in posture, nervous hand gestures, and sidelong glances communicated more than words ever could. The drama was layered, fueled by perception, rumor, and the constant presence of friends and fans observing every move. Each moment seemed to teeter between confrontation and cautious avoidance. With no clear resolution in sight, arguments occasionally erupted, voices rising in tension. One friend challenged another about the credibility of the alleged messages, while a third attempted to defend Mama D's decision to speak out. Each confrontation escalated quickly, emotions running high, and the atmosphere became almost electric with anticipation. Even the resort staff seemed to sense the heightened energy, witnessing the human drama unfold in real time. What had started as a rumor was now a powerful narrative that dictated the flow of the evening, with every interaction shaped by suspicion, loyalty, and fear of betrayal. Zae, trying to regain some control, organized small, private conversations, seeking clarity and understanding. Each discussion revealed more questions than answers, deepening the web of tension. Even minor comments could ignite new waves of speculation, making the group hyper-aware of every word spoken. The emotional intensity of the situation was nearly unbearable, yet every participant was unwilling to step away. Captivated by the unfolding story and its potential consequences, Salm, largely silent, became a focal point through her very restraint. Her composure was both a shield and a source of speculation. Some interpreted her quietness as guilt, others as wisdom, and yet others as uncertainty. Every glance exchanged with Zay carried layers of unspoken communication, observed closely by friends and fans alike. The tension was multidimensional, combining emotion, rumor, and perception, creating an atmosphere thick with anticipation. The drama had reached a point where silence itself became a statement, and every gesture was scrutinized for meaning as evening approached. Whispers of prior interactions, misunderstood messages, and potential attempts to hide details began to circulate. Each new tidbit added complexity, intensifying debates and speculation. The alleged affair had evolved beyond a simple rumor into a full-fledged spectacle, driving behavior, shaping alliances, and keeping both those present and fans online completely absorbed. Friends navigated the environment with caution, aware that even casual remarks could spark confrontation. The emotional stakes were high, and no one could predict which moment might trigger the next wave of drama throughout the day. Attempts to steer conversations away from the scandal often failed. Even lighthearted humor or casual chatter was interpreted through the lens of suspicion and rumor. The momentum of the story was unstoppable, and every interaction, whether significant or trivial, seemed to reinforce the tension. Friends found themselves constantly analyzing body language, tone, and context, as though the truth of the alleged affair could be uncovered through observation alone. The digital audience mirrored this obsession, dissecting every clip, comment, and gesture, keeping the drama alive beyond the resort by the time night fell again. The group was exhausted but unable to disengage. The alleged scandal between Z's brother and Salma had dominated every interaction, reshaping relationships and creating an environment of heightened scrutiny. Fans online continued to debate and speculate, sharing theories, defending sides, and analyzing each new development. The narrative had grown into a spectacle that extended far beyond the confines of the resort, ensuring that the drama would continue to ripple outward for days to come. The night in Puerto Rico carried a restless energy, far from the calm one would expect on a tropical vacation. After the day of whispered rumors and tense private conversations, the alleged affair between Z's brother and Salma had become the central force dictating every interaction. The group moved. Z, still determined to understand the situation, gathered a few trusted friends in a secluded area near the pool. "I need clarity," he murmured, voice low but filled with tension. "I can't let rumors define my family or friendships." His friends exchanged wary glances, unsure how much to reveal, knowing their words could either calm the storm or ignite a new one. Meanwhile, Mama D remained vocal, asserting that transparency was necessary even if it made others uncomfortable. "People deserve to know," she stated, her tone unwavering. Her confidence polarized the group. Some admired her courage while others felt she was recklessly stirring the pot. The line between truth and provocation blurred, leaving everyone unsure how to respond. The alleged messages that had started the entire rumor were now central to every discussion. Friends debated their authenticity, dissected their implications, and tried to determine whether the scandal was real or exaggerated. Voices rose and fell in heated arguments, emotions flaring as loyalties were questioned. One friend whispered in disbelief, "If this is true, it changes everything." While another argued, "We don't even know if it's real. Why are we letting it control the night?" The tension created a charged environment, every interaction feeling like a test of trust, judgment, and personal loyalty. Salma, increasingly aware of the attention focused on her, chose to remain quiet, letting the whispers and glances speak for her. Her silence, however, only fueled further speculation. Some interpreted it as guilt, others as strength, and yet others as uncertainty. Every subtle movement, every hesitant step, every pause in conversation became laden with meaning. Friends watched closely, analyzing her body language, while fans online dissected every clip, creating theories, commentary, and sometimes even confrontation in the digital space. The drama had extended beyond the resort, pulling viewers into the tension as if they were part of the unfolding story themselves. Z's husband, trying to mediate, approached him quietly. "We need to take a step back," he advised, his voice steady but filled with concern. "This can't spiral out of control." Yet even his calm presence struggled to contain the emotional whirlwind. Alliances subtly formed and shifted throughout the evening, with some defending Salma, others supporting Mama D, and yet others standing firmly by Z's side. Each cluster of friends created its own microcosm of opinions, suspicions, and judgments. Every conversation, every gesture, every sigh became a data point for analysis, both within the resort and among the digital audience. As hours passed, the rumor's impact grew. Casual conversations were interrupted as new whispers emerged. Misinterpreted messages resurfaced and small confrontations erupted. One heated exchange focused on the credibility of the alleged screenshots. With voices clashing, emotions flaring, and tensions peaking, the night had transformed into a stage for drama. With friends and family caught between wanting to uncover the truth and fearing the consequences of revelation, the suspense was palpable, every interaction loaded with significance, every pause pregnant with anticipation. Sierra, who had initially shared what she heard, attempted to clarify her role. "I didn't start this," she said, voice barely above a whisper. "I only repeated what I was told." Yet even this statement became fodder for further analysis. Friends questioned her motives, her timing, and the implications of her disclosure. The room seemed to vibrate with tension, and the fine line between rumor and reality grew increasingly difficult to distinguish. Fans online were relentless, replaying clips, dissecting words, and theorizing motives, ensuring that the narrative continued to evolve with each passing moment. The group attempted, in brief moments, to maintain a semblance of normalcy. Light-hearted gestures were made, small jokes attempted, but the shadow of speculation loomed over every interaction. Even trivial actions were analyzed, whispered conversations scrutinized, and subtle glances interpreted as confirmation or denial. The alleged scandal had embedded itself so deeply into the group's dynamic that every behavior, no matter how minor, carried potential drama. The emotional stakes were high, and the fear of escalation hung heavily over everyone present. Mama D, unwavering in her approach, continued to assert that the truth, whether fully verified or partially rumored, needed to be confronted. "We can't just ignore this," she insisted, eyes scanning the room for reactions. Some friends nodded, appreciating her directness, while others bristled, believing that she was provoking unnecessary tension. The interplay of loyalty, suspicion, and accountability created an environment thick with drama, where every conversation was potentially explosive and every decision carried weight. ZAE, trying to contain the emotional whirlwind, organized small, private discussions with key friends and family members. Each conversation revealed new layers of speculation, miscommunication, and potential misunderstandings. The rumor, initially limited to whispered messages, had grown into a living narrative that dictated behavior, shaped alliances, and created constant tension. Even attempts at humor or casual conversation were subject to interpretation, with every word carrying multiple layers of potential meaning. The stakes were high, the scrutiny intense, and the emotional environment almost unbearable throughout the night. The pattern repeated: whisper, observe, speculate, confront. Friends hovered near one another, observing body language, interpreting tone, and searching for clues. Salma's silence was a focal point, Z's vigilance a counterweight, and Mama D's directness the catalyst. The emotional roller coaster was relentless, drawing everyone deeper into speculation, tension, and anticipation. Fans, online and offline, remained captivated, their reactions amplifying the intensity of the situation and ensuring that every subtle movement was noticed, commented on, and shared. As midnight approached, the group had reached a peak of tension. Emotions were raw, confrontations frequent, and trust tenuous. The alleged affair between Z's brother and Salma had reshaped the evening entirely, turning a tropical vacation into a stage 4 high-stakes drama. The combination of rumor, speculation, emotional conflict, and digital commentary created a feedback loop that ensured the story continued to escalate. Casual interactions were now loaded with meaning, every pause or glance carrying potential significance, and the narrative had firmly embedded itself in the minds of everyone present by the early hours. Exhaustion mixed with lingering tension. No one had fully disengaged from the swirling rumors and allegations. Conversations, though quieter, were still charged with suspicion and caution. The night had become a crucible for testing relationships, loyalties, and trust. Friends analyzed each other. Moments of silence became opportunities for reflection. And even mundane interactions were colored by the shadow of speculation. Fans online continued to debate, theorize, and speculate, making it clear that the alleged scandal had grown beyond the resort, becoming a story that would continue to captivate audiences for days to come. As the Puerto Rico saga comes to a close, one thing is clear: the alleged affair involving Z's brother and Salma has left a lasting impact on the group. Emotions ran high, tensions reached their peak, and friendships were tested like never before. Whether these rumors are true or simply a product of speculation, the fallout has created an atmosphere of uncertainty and suspense. The family and friends are left questioning loyalties, intentions, and trust, while fans continue to dissect every moment, every glance, and every whispered conversation. The digital world is buzzing, Social media is flooded with theories, and the story shows no signs of fading from public attention anytime soon. For viewers, this is a dramatic reminder of how quickly private matters can transform into public spectacles. Each alleged revelation, confrontation, and emotional reaction has been magnified under the scrutiny of friends, cameras, and an online audience. The suspense continues to build, leaving everyone wondering what comes next. How relationships will survive, and what hidden truths might emerge. The intensity, the speculation, and the interpersonal conflicts are exactly what make this story captivating, drawing fans deeper into the drama with each passing moment. If you want to keep up with every shocking twist, heated argument, and behind-the-scenes revelation, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Comment below with your thoughts. Do you think the allegations have any truth, or is this just sensationalized drama? Share your opinions, theories, and reactions because your voice matters in the conversation. Stay tuned, because with this group, the drama never truly ends. And the next shocking development could be just around the corner.